quickly introduce this and get you to do a quick introduction before we get cracking. So, hello again, everyone. This is episode 13 of Quarantine, Fitness and Life. This is a platform that I created to sort of help people with their physical fitness during these lockdown times, but also to sort of look at what we can do to take control of our lives during this sort of like quarantine lockdown situation, because it's something that really is troublesome for a lot of people, but we do have the power within us to be able to make good strides to make things happen for us. So I do have my guest here as well, who I'm sure during the chat you'll see why I've got him on. He's got a lot of good insights, but if there's any sort of questions that you guys have during this, please write them down in the comments, and both me and my guests will do our best to try and give you some good guidance on that. So just before we start, I want to pass over to you to sort of say who you are, where you live, and sort of like what you do, and we can then get cracking.
Amazing. Firstly, thank you for having me on today. It's been a blessing. This situation has actually, ironically, created so many opportunities that people I don't think have actually seen. So I'm from Eastbourne. My name is Patrick Hogg. I am working as a chiropractor. Ironically, we met through one of my connections, who is a dentist who happens to be your cousin. And we met on one of our masterminds where we were basically just exchanging ideas of how we can basically market our businesses and learn to grow and develop, not just necessarily in business, but as people as well. And so as part of that, what I've been doing with a lot of other people is actually starting to introduce myself online, very much like you've been doing with this channel. We've obviously been starting our own podcasts. We've been starting our own YouTube channels, our Instagram channels, and all our Facebook stuff. But really, for me, chiropractic is really, it's not just a treatment, as many people will kind of think of us. There are a lot of people who think of chiropractors as someone that just treats neck and back pain, which is obviously the most common thing that people would think of as a chiropractor. But really, chiropractic is about changing people's lives and the way that people look at their lives so they can actually enhance their health. And, you know, this is actually something that's really interesting for me because, you know, physique coaching and some of the stuff that you get in physique coaching is really similar to what we would experience in chiropractic, is that you've got to change that mindset first before you can actually enhance and change into your health journey. So, yeah, I'm living in a little seaside coast town. We're about 40 minutes away from Brighton. I work in a little clinic that I took over about a year ago. And yeah, we're absolutely killing it down here. We're seeing some absolutely amazing changes with some of our patients. You know, it's just one of those things that it gives you so much joy doing a job like this because you get to change people's lives every day, and you get to do something that you love doing, which is, for me, amazing. And I get to meet people like yourself, which is even better.
Yeah, and that is really the beauty of this type of being in a sort of service type job where you're dealing with people. I mean, that's what I sort of love about it as well. So thanks for that introduction there, Patrick. And sort of with that, I just want to sort of go into really the sort of like first question. So considering this has been sort of lockdown for us, I mean, what have you been doing to sort of like keep yourself physically and mentally active during this sort of time?
Okay, so I think probably the most important thing that I've had during this lockdown period has been my tribe. And a lot of people, when the word tribe is very difficult to define, but the way that I look at my tribe is those people that I keep close to me because I know that they give me strength. Yep. They give me confidence. They push me when I need it most. They make me create action. So probably the biggest thing that I've done to keep myself motivated during this period is spend a hell of a lot more time on personal development. Spend a hell of a lot more time with my tribe, whether that's on webinars, whether that's doing podcasts, whether that's, you know, like exchanging ideas on how we're going to reopen our businesses, whether that's we develop much better in numbers. The thing is what you can do on your own, you can times by 100 just by having one extra person there. And then you can do that tenfold again by having another couple of people there. And so the strength is in numbers, because when you've got the numbers, then you can share each other's skills. You can share each other's experiences. And the thing is what might work for one person isn't always going to work for everyone. So for me, the number one thing has always been my tribe, is, having that support around me. And the thing is, if you don't have a tribe, find one. Find one. The thing is, nowadays, it's so easy to connect with people. I'm literally at the other end of the country to you. Like, we probably couldn't be any further apart because I would be in the middle of the sea. Yet we can still do something like this, and we can still share our experiences, and we can still learn from each other, despite the fact that it would take me 2 hours to get to you on a plane.
Yeah.
So that for me has been personally mindset. I mean, physical activity personally for me is not something difficult to do. I've had to modify it. That's been the difficult thing. So going from having that, I really like, and look, for me, chiropractic is about 3 things. It's about complete mental health, social health, and physical health. And this is what the World Health Organization defines health as. And so for me, physical activity is not something difficult to do. It's in our DNA. We should be doing it. It's not optional. It should be compulsory, because our body physically does not function properly if we're not doing exercise. Honest to God, if the pharmaceutical companies could find a way of putting 30 minutes of exercise per day into a pill, I tell you what, they would run out of bottles tomorrow. They wouldn't have enough pill pots. There wouldn't be enough in the world. And so for me, it's not an option. So I just had to find a way of modifying it. So obviously you can see from the poster that we had, I've got some slightly different ways of training. So I'm not really a bodybuilder. I like to do a lot more functional movement patterns, like stabilization techniques. So for me, it's more about performance necessarily than physique. Don't get me wrong. When you do HIIT training with these kinds of materials, your physique still gets good. You just don't get the size. You just don't get the size. And for me, I'm personally a vegan. So size is something that's very difficult for me to gain anyway. It just has been. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's just modification, not necessarily like motivation. But I tell you what, I wouldn't have had that motivation if I didn't have my tribe. Because there were days where I was going, I can't do this.
And there's a lot of great sort of like key things that I sort of like want to hit into sort of what you've said, because it really needs to be dissected here.
Yeah,
so people
100%.
truly understand the power of what you've just said. So the first thing really is your tribe.
Yep.
There's a sort of phrase that I sort of came across. I'm going to paraphrase it because I won't be able to remember it word for word because a while ago, but it goes by saying something like, you can go far yourself, but you can take over with more, and that's like more people. So really what that's trying to say is what you've said. It's like there's only so much that we can do, but we will need to pool the skills, resources of other people for us to be able to achieve our full potential and to be able to achieve our hopes and dreams. And you've even said that there's been times during this where you've actually felt low about things, but because you've been able to have the support of other people, that's given you that re-motivation to go, do you know what, I needed that kick up the ass, or I needed to see that my friend has been able to get through this, so if they can do it, I can do it. And it really comes down to this, something that I'm sure you'll love when I say it. In general, we are the average of the 5 or 6 people, whatever one number you want to use, but we'll use 5 here. We're the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So, I mean, is there something that you want to sort of like delve into a bit more? Because we had a bit of a chat about this in our sort of like previous talk, but it's just so people really understand the power of that.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you try and pull a plane on your own, it's going to be hard. You know, you got 10 people, pulling a plane all of a sudden seems much easier. And that's the thing, like, you might be able to do the workload, and there will be people that will force themselves to do it, but it's so much easier. You'll probably be able to pull 2 planes if you manage to get the right tribe. All right. Yeah. So true. So true. If you're going to spend you're going to spend loads of time with 5 people that are going to sit around on their sofa eating Dominoes and drinking beer, guess what? You're going to become the 6th one. If you've got 5 people in a room all talking about self-development, all talking about their physique, all talking about training, all talking about nutrition, guess what? You're going to be the 6th person. And the thing is and this can seem woo-woo to people, but where your energy goes, you will see improvement. So where you put your mind, the energy will go there. It will go there, and that's where you'll see the improvements. And this is true for pretty much anything. Okay, if you focus your energy on negative, or focus your mind on negative things, it creates a physiological change. It's in your DNA. I can guarantee you, if I made you think about the worst experience in your life, I can guarantee you would feel something in your stomach or your heart. I can guarantee you get that gut feeling. And if I turned it around and said to you, okay, now think about the most positive experience in your life, guess what happens? You change with that. And your physiology, your DNA is actually wired to feel those things. Most people know it as the fight or flight response. Or the rest and digest. And this is really, again, this when we start looking at our environment, it's our environment that influences that, as well as the people. The people influence our environment. So if you're going to put yourself in an environment, and I love this guy, by the way. I hope you don't mind me referencing other people, but Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza talks about this stuff so well. What you can create in your mind, you can create in your reality. But you have to create it there first. You have to know what your vision is. Because if you don't know what your vision is, what are you working towards? You're like a boat that's got no sail. The wind can blow. It doesn't matter where it blows. You're never going to go in any direction. And then the thing is, you might put the sail up, okay, and then the wind starts blowing and you get blown in every direction. But then you put the rudder in. And the thing is as you learn, you make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. That's the point. Like, if you don't make mistakes, you'll never learn. If you never make a mistake, you'll never learn. But you will, if you give yourself the right direction, you surround yourself with the right people, you can make the changes. You can, and the tribe is the person. And like you say, if you're going to put yourself in a tribe of 100, for me, it's not just chiropractors, it's dentists, it's osteopaths, it's nutritionists, we've got acupuncturists. We all come together and we talk about how we are trying to, 1, self-develop, 2, business develop.
Yeah. And that was fantastic there, Patrick. And just really to sort of make people sort of understand the whole importance of this tribe thing. Look at any singer, any sportsman, even politicians. Do these people do everything themselves?
There's actually, funny enough, like you bring that point up. I just started watching it, and it's really interesting documentary. It's the new documentary on Netflix about Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, just start watching that, and you'll start on it's all about the environment. It's all about the team. It's all about and this is the thing. Like, they were going to go under. And there was just that person with the right mindset. And it flipped the team. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, like, it can just be that one, it might be that one person that just needs to change the whole mindset of the group. But the thing is that one person with a lot of energy can influence a lot of people. A lot of people with a lot of energy will influence a lot more people.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple.
So, I mean, and really what Patrick's sort of explaining there is that if we have the support, we can achieve so much. I mean, look at what the singers are doing, the sportsmen are doing. It's because they've got the right support. So we need to find our own tribe, as Patrick puts it, but really it's just our own support team. Who is going to help us get to where we want to get to? Who can help us go from where we are now, point A, to where we want to be, point B? It literally is as simple as this, you know? And I love what you talked about energy, where you said that energy goes where you go, or where you focus it on. And the word focus, it's that sort of acronym that I've seen, which I think is brilliant. So the word focus, FOCUS, F, follow, O, one, C, course, U, until S, success or successful.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So basically, if we've got an aim to do something, we need to just follow one course till successful. But so that means we need to have a plan, a proper plan of attack that's structured around getting to where we want to be, but it's suited to us as individuals, so it's achievable for what we can actually do. And it needs to be broken down into manageable, actionable steps that we can do daily or weekly, so we can actually get to a goal and start making the progress. And for that, in general, we can do that ourselves, but a lot of people will find it tough to develop that type of plan, or else they would have what they want already, basically. So again, this leads into the importance of having that support team. So I mean, is that something that you agree with?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's like you say, you just can't do things on your own. You just can't. And like you say, actually having one thing to follow. I'm guilty of this, by the way. Shiny object syndrome. We as practitioners, especially, are very hooked by the shiny object syndrome, where all of a sudden someone's got a new way of developing new patients, or there's a new technique out, or there's a new table, or there's a new tool, or there's a new none of it's ever new, by the way. It's all just a way of repackaging and remarketing it to something. And look, at the end of the day, most of the courses that you will find will be repackaged. You need to find someone that you connect with,
exactly,
who can keep you focused. You can keep you focused. And the thing is, right, is that people will always and by the way, you can get all of the content under the sun for free on the internet.
Yeah.
So why aren't you doing it?
Exactly.
Right? This is the thing, right? Honest to God, all of the stuff that gets taught to me, 90% of the stuff that gets taught to me in my tribe and my inner circle, and you have to be really careful when you say this, because it stops learning. You stop learning as soon as you say this, I already know that. I already know that. As soon as you've gone, I already know that, guess what? You've switched off. You're not learning anymore from that person. Yeah. It's done. It's done. But the thing is, right, is that majority of the time, the stuff that we're learning on these courses and on these things, we all know that eating an apple is better than eating a hamburger. There's not really any discrepancy in that. Yet, why don't we do it? We all know that we all know that we need to do that. And the good thing you get from a tribe that you potentially don't get from trying to do things on your own all the time is accountability. Yeah, accountability. Now, this is something that so many people struggle with. This is why, look, at the end of the day, I had a patient come in and say this to me once, and I was horrified. I was horrified that a chiropractor had said this to one of his patients. And he said to me that his chiropractor had said to him that chiropractic was for people that were too lazy to do their own work to look after their own bodies. I said, that couldn't be further from the truth. Chiropractic is about trying to inspire people to take care of their bodies. It's not for lazy people. It's for people that don't necessarily understand, but they also need accountability. They need accountability. So, the thing is you can know something and not do it, and that is stupid. Exactly. You can know something and not do it, and that is stupid. But everybody does it. I mean, I'm guilty of it. And the reason being is there's not necessarily someone there to try and get you to take action. And trust me, as soon as you've got someone there that's basically saying, "Oh, hi Patrick, are you doing your push-ups today that we set you for the last 30 days? Have you made sure you did your 10 on the first day, 20 on the second day, 30 on the second, etc., etc." If someone picks up the phone to you and says, "Are you not drinking again today?" Guess what? You're going to go, "They cut me out. Oh, don't want to do that." Yeah. There's a difference. There's a difference. And I see this with my patients, by the way, all the time. They'll stay with me for 6 weeks, and then they drop off of care, and then you see them next year and you go, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't follow the plan, but now it hurts again." And you just go, "Well, why do you think that is?" Yeah. No one's making them accountable for their actions, and they go and not do anything again for a year. So your tribe is going to make you, probably the biggest thing you'll get from your tribe is accountability and energy. And also you get the thought of mass. Yeah. Brilliant. I mean, and even with that, what I picked from that is really what you sort of said, in the sense of
we don't need to reinvent the wheel because all the stuff really is on the internet. But the issue with this is pretty much almost what you said, paraphrase, is that it breeds laziness or breeds that I've seen that, and then people will sort of switch off. So really what we need is to actually understand how to use what we're getting from the internet and to be able to implement that into our lives. And that really is the premise of even what I do as an online coach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Generally right now, most people will know about calories. They'll know about macros, protein, fats and carbs. They know these things. They know about exercise generally, even if it's something as basic as push-ups or using certain machines. The issue comes from is that people don't know how to implement this into their own lives and to be able to do it regularly enough, aka the accountability part. This is the same with everything that we sort of see in life. If people are trying to get a certain result or are struggling, it's because they don't know how to implement the information that they're seeing. And yes, they may go, as you said, oh, well, I know that, I've seen that. That's cool, but how are you using this? Your example of someone knows an apple's better than a donut, but they're still eating loads of donuts. I mean, cool, it's fine to have the donut, but the point is, if the aim is to be healthier and to lose body fat or whatever, then
don't eat the donut.
You know that, I mean, you know what I mean? It's not rocket science, but it's about having the structure and the plan and the accountability to that plan, so it gets followed. That then gives results, and this is what people watch you seriously. That is where the power of this comes from.
It's interesting. There's a really good study actually, because we are by nature animals that want instant gratification.
Yes.
We are by nature. So, you know, that instant gratification of, okay, the donut makes you feel good, and it will, it's like short term, but it's a short term thing. It's a short term fix. It gives you a dopamine rush. It changes your brain. But actually they did a study on kids, and they put them in a room with a marshmallow on the table. And the kids that didn't eat the marshmallow got another marshmallow. And if they didn't eat that marshmallow, they put on another marshmallow. And it was not very long. It was not very long until the kids ate the marshmallows. Like the majority of them ate the marshmallow straight away. Like the majority, very vast. I can't remember the exact numbers, but the ones that learned, if they put things off a little bit and they didn't eat the marshmallow straight away, they got more marshmallows, and they got more marshmallows, and they got more marshmallows. And by the time they were like, I just don't want the marshmallow, because I know if I eat the marshmallow, I lose out on the lot and I'm not going to get any more. So sometimes you dip into this thing going, oh yeah, if I just do it now, it'll be all right. I can just get back on the wagon again tomorrow. But what you've lost is that accumulative effect. You've lost that accumulative, and you've satiated your gratification center. And because you've done it once, guess what's going to happen? As soon as that next marshmallow comes in, you'll see this, by the way, you see this with employed people the most, not self-employed people, employed people the most. And the reason being is their salary comes in, guess where it goes? Straight out. Normally to the pub on a Friday night. They get the reward, that's the marshmallow, and it goes. Whereas, and I can tell this with people when I start talking to them quite a lot when my clients are self-employed, because they'll bring the cash in and they don't just spend it. It stays, they invest it, they put it somewhere so that it creates more marshmallows. And your physique and your fitness and your training is all the same thing. Like, you put the effort in, if you go and bust it by eating the donuts, you've eaten the marshmallow. You've lost your way, and you haven't got that cumulative effect. Now, the other thing, what they found is if they had the support, they ate less marshmallows. So having someone there going, don't eat the marshmallow, allowed them, and what they found is they definitely built a lot quicker. And really with that, I mean, that's actually a great sort of like example to sort of show people, great study, but again, it shows the importance of having that support, because not all of us are strong. But not even that, it's not even the fact that all of us are strong. We're not strong all the time. None of us are strong all the time. So it can take that moment of weakness that we just do things that are very detrimental to what we're trying to achieve. Which again, why it's great that
Patrick's really sort of focusing on this sort of like tribe or accountability or support network, because that's the whole point of it. I mean, for me, the reason I've been able to do what I've done is because I've been able to build my support network in terms of what the people that I liaise with, not even directly, but the people that I follow and do things from YouTube, or even sort of things on Instagram. So I can pull the information, and the skill that I've got is I'm able to almost instantly apply it to my life. That's a skill not a lot of people have. So if people don't have that skill, you need to have other people that can help you put it together. Because at the end of the day, we're getting to the same point. Information, how do I use it? I need to keep on doing it, then I get to what I want. That right there, that is the formula for life. If you want success.
Mm-hmm.
The main issue is that people complicate life and think everything is too difficult, but it's because they're complicating it. As I said, it's simple. Get information, find out how to apply it to your life, you get the result, as long as you keep on doing it daily or weekly.
Mm-hmm.
That right there, that's the equation for life. I mean, is that something that you agree with?
I 100% agree. 100% agree. Like, you look at the most successful people on the planet, like any of them, you can take pretty much any of them, and 99% of them will have a coach. We were talking about this the other day. I remember Rich Dad Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He has the same. She's a mind space, like headspace coach. He has the same headspace coach as my coach. Is the same headspace coach, and actually, my coach appeared on stage with Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. And honestly, God, one of the best, not even just on a business point of view, but on just a life development and like outlook point of view, probably one of the best books I've ever read. Just on like mentality, and like you look at people around you, and you just look at people and go, why would you even say, why would you even think like that? It just makes no sense. And actually, funny enough, he talked about the sale that I said about earlier. He talks about the sale and giving you that direction. And like I say, Richard Branson, he's the same. And also, Richard Branson and his coaches, he also, when he coaches other people, by the way, the probably one of the richest people on the planet will tell you, there's no point having everything that I've got if I don't have my health. So, like, the thing is even someone who is as well off as that still goes, actually, do you know what? I need to make sure I look after my physical health, my mental health. And the thing is, we know that we work better when we do those things. And again, like, you can look at school kids. There's studies on this. The kids that are working the best at school typically are physically active, they're socially active, and they're mentally well because of those reasons. Yeah. So always have a coach. Always have a coach. I've got probably 5 different coaches. I've got a personal trainer. I've got my business coach. I've got my accountability partner. I use your cousin as an accountability partner as well. So, we kind of think of coaches. I also, funny enough, like I've told a few people this. I almost think of my girlfriend a little bit of a coach as well, because I'm very driven. And actually my girlfriend is very good at kind of taking a step back and not necessarily, and she sometimes puts me in my place. She has to, because when you have this mindset and when you are very driven, you can be in a time of stress, especially in a time of stress, you can be over the top, very over the top. And actually sometimes, she says that you need to quiet down or calm down. And I look at different people as different types of coaches, and she for me is very grounding. But
then it just goes back to what we said. Basically, your girlfriend is part of your tribe or support group. That's all that is. You see what I mean? I mean, it's just as simple as that. And I mean, I really want to sort of like go also on to, because all that stuff there is fantastic, and I really think that people hear this, that in itself will probably make them really see that they're really not thinking of things the right way. And it's just about making things as clear and simple. And that's what I try to do now. I just try to make things as clear and simple, cut through the noise, cut through the BS. What is it people need to do? What do they need to think about?
Yep.
But with that, it's one thing you sort of talked about, sort of loosely, but I think it'll be useful to go more into.
Yep.
This word failure, because
Yep.
you pretty much talked about it before that. Yes, you will try something. Yes, you may fail, you may struggle, but keep going. Why is failure not bad? Would you say, people?
Yeah. Look, how did you learn as a child? Like, and again, go, and I think I said about the physiological changes earlier as well. Tony Robbins, by the way, talks about this stuff really, 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 really well. Really, really well. And you know, one of my best coaches said to me, Patrick, you've just got to fail faster.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You're going to make mistakes. So just do it quicker. Just do it quicker. Get it over and done with. Like, look, for me, if we look at like business things, and I will openly admit I made a big boo-boo with one of my clients this year. Hadn't seen one of my clients for a little while. So what did I do? I sent a letter to her saying, oh, look, we would really like to see you again. We haven't seen you in a while, da-da-da-da-da. Now, let me write the context for you. It was Valentine's Day. So we used that as an opportunity to reach out to our clients. We used it as like a marketing campaign. Now, ironically, she'd come in a couple of weeks before and she told me she was getting divorced. Oops. Can you see potentially what the backfire on that was when my CA phoned her up and said, oh, we hope you got the letter. And she was like, I can't believe you sent me that. Now, the thing is that those mistakes will happen, but you need to make those mistakes to go, actually, do you know what? Maybe sometimes we need to tweak or check the lists before they go out. You don't just send them to everyone. And so, and the other thing you've also got to understand, right, is that yes, one of my clients got really hacked off with that. I had a phone call. I phoned her up. I said, look, it's a mistake. It's something new that we're trying. I apologize. And guess what? She was absolutely okay with it. Absolutely fine. But do you know also what happened as a result of that? We also managed to get in contact with another 20, 30 people who all came back into the clinic. So yes, you're going to fail. And the thing is, someone said to me, sloppy success. Sloppy success. Because initially, when it's unrefined and unpracticed, it's going to be sloppy. You're going to make mistakes. But doing something badly is better than not doing anything at all. And procrastination is probably one of the biggest killers for growth. And honest to God, right? You can try and refine something until it is perfect. You can try, but someone will still find a flaw in it. Okay. And I spoke about Richard Branson earlier. Richard Branson probably makes more F-ups than pretty much anyone on the planet. I'm pretty certain at the beginning of the lockdown, he kind of posted a video of him sitting in one of his like penthouses over in the Bahamas or something, and he hacked off so many people. But the guy can get away with it because he's got such a strong tribe and team. Now, the thing is it doesn't matter how good you are, you will always have haters. Because there's going to be someone that doesn't agree with you. Because in their reality, what your reality is and their reality, they're completely different. You know, some people have been to chiropractors before and they've had a bad experience. So therefore, I'm a bad person. It's not true, but it's true to them. And so it doesn't matter how hard you try. Not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to like your message. Not everyone's going to agree with what your message is. But you just need to find the people that do agree with you. And in order to do that, you're going to have to make mistakes. You're going to have to make failures. You're going to have to make, like I say, F-ups. It's really important. And like I say, that's how we learn. Tony Robbins talks about it. You have to move towards pleasure and away from pain. Towards pleasure and away from pain. And
right there, I think that's a message that people really need to actually look at in their lives. Do the things that are going to get you to a place that you're going to be happy with, because then that's going to take you away from the pain that you're in. The comfort zone idea, which is what we'll go on to afterwards. But with what you said, there's a few things I want to sort of hit on to. And the last one there was just the last thing you said about the haters and realising that we do not live our lives to make everyone happy. And I think that's a key thing, because a lot of people do maybe live to try and hope that everyone likes them or that they make everyone happy. The problem is, I don't know how many people there are in the world, billions and billions of people. It's humanly impossible to make everyone like you, and if that's your role in life,
you're going to fail very fast.
You're going to fail. And it goes back to this thing that I like to say, If you want to make everyone happy, go sell ice cream. But even still, someone's going to be lactose intolerant. So that's the whole point. You can't do that. So, as Patrick said there,
someone will think your ice cream's too expensive.
Exactly. Focus on helping or doing the things that you want to do, because no matter what's going to happen, someone's going to have something to say. It's just like someone saying opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. So, so it's like, we just need to realise what is it we want, because this is our life. We need to do what's going to help our life. Because for me, the meaning of life is not complicated. A lot of people would find this question very hard, but the meaning of life is for us to find our own meaning of life, and that really is to do the things that we enjoy, so we have the best life that we personally can have. It's that simple. And really going back to the sort of fail faster and sloppy success, which I think is just it's just brilliant, because the thing is, people want to not fail. But as you've said, I mean, how is it that we learned when we were kids? Learning to walk, learning to ride a bike. Yeah. If we were scared of falling over, and that was the thing that was crippling us to not try it, then we would never know how to walk or never know how to ride a bike.
Yep.
So you've got to understand that if you want to be able to get the thing at the end, be it walking for a child or being able to ride a bike, you just need to accept you're going to fall.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yes, we can have the safeguards, aka, let's say someone riding a bike, they've got the training wheels or stabilizers, or they've got their parent close to them to sort of. So then that's just like having a plan or having your tribe with whatever you're doing. And it's these things that can help people get out of their comfort zone. Because the whole point of a comfort zone is that people don't want to go out because it's too scary. If something's too scary, it's because the thing you want is actually something that you value that much, but it's just you don't have a visualization or idea of how to get there. So this is where you need the plan, but then you also need that accountability and support to guide you safely to that. So I mean, do you think they're all sort of good synopses with the feel faster, sloppy success, and the haters thing that you said?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And there was, I can't remember where I read it. 7%. I don't know where the statistic came from, but 7% discomfort. How they measure that, I have no idea. Well, they basically said if you go slightly too far with like how stressed you make yourself, it will have a detrimental effect. But if you don't ever put yourself into that kind of like uncomfortable, and by the way, right, the reason why we fear something is we don't know what the outcome's going to be. That's it. We just don't know what. And the thing is, right, is that the outcome could be good, it could be bad. Like, what's the worst thing that ever happens? I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you decide to walk over a tightrope over the Grand Canyon and you fall, I mean, the end is death.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Like, if that's going to go 7% over, don't do it. And look, the thing is you just got to use logic with these things. But 9 times out of 10, the worst thing that's going to happen is you might have someone that thinks badly of you. Maybe. And I have to admit, I'm currently coaching with another chiropractor. You know, I'm coaching another chiropractor. And one of her biggest problems is she's scared about what other people think of her. But the thing, and by the way, for chiropractors or therapists in general, physios, chiropractors, osteopaths, it doesn't matter what you are, or even physique coaches probably, the people that they're worried about getting like judged by is not the clients. 9 times out of 10, they're worried about being judged by their peers, the other personal trainers, or the other chiropractors, the other osteopaths. But let me ask you this: do they pay your mortgage? Do they come under your care? No. So why stop giving about what other people think about you and start giving about the people in your tribe and the people that you need to connect with, the people that you want around you? Like, if you don't want. At the end of the day, if you're a physique coach, you don't necessarily want all the people sitting in the fast food restaurants. Ironically, you might want them, you might want to help them, but sometimes you can't, and you have to accept that.
Yeah. No, I mean, and the thing that's sort of really good about stressing that for people is that it just goes back to, you've got to focus on you. That one word focus. we can't make everyone in the world be happy with what we do, blah blah blah. But that's not our job to do that. And if we are worried about being judged, then we've really got to look at ourselves and understand, why are we not focusing on what we're trying to achieve? Why are we that worried about what other people are thinking? If we are doing a good job for ourselves and trying to get to where we're going, then why does it matter what someone else is thinking? Results prove what you do and what you can achieve, and no one can dispute that. Do you think everyone loves, let's say, you've talked about Richard Branson so much, do you think everyone in the world loves Richard Branson considering how much he's achieved?
No.
So,
there's a lot of people.
Anyway.
Interestingly, he's always being sued by a minimum of 100 people.
Yeah.
That's how many people love him.
Yeah. And the thing is, and do you think he, maybe cares might not be the right word, but do you think that he let those people derail him from trying to achieve the success that he wants? No. So then why do we fear this so much? And it's our own sort of insecurities. How do we get outside of insecurities? We get outside our comfort zone with something that helps us do it in a safe way for us. So be it having an actionable, achievable plan for ourselves, be it have that accountability and support of all of these, have a good tribe. That's why this is actually such a powerful life, don't you? Because this truly is the keys for everyone to achieve whatever success they want. If you're scared about not achieving something, if you're worried about being judged, if you're worried about failing, get the support. I mean, it really is as simple as that. I mean, is there anything else that you would want to put to that?
No, I think look, if you let me have too much tether, I'll go all day.
But it's just really like, what more would you want to sort of add it to sort of like really to certainly make people truly understand that the power is actually with them to make things happen?
Do you know, that's a really interesting question, and it's probably a really difficult one to answer because it's going to be so different for everyone. It's going to be so different to everyone. I mean, I know I credit a lot of I credit a lot of my success to my tribe. I also credit a lot of my success to developing in my mental well-being. So I mean, I started meditation, must be coming up to 2 years now, and in 2 years I tripled my salary. 2 years. I'm 28, by the way. I didn't actually start working officially until I was 25. So I mean, as a new graduate student coming out of school, and I'm not too worried to share this. I was earning 40,000 working 3 days a week, which most people would love. But for me, the number I was earning was merely telling me how much energy I was creating for other people. And actually, obviously, like, my mindset and building my mindset allowed me. So I see cash as one thing. I see it as an energy transfer. And I genuinely do believe that everything is your energy. So if you need to raise your level of energy in order to actually be able to do that. And I think that's, we can talk about all the actions and the steps and stuff, but you have to find yourself first. Because if you don't know who you are, you don't know who you want to mix with. You don't know who your tribe is. So you need to have some level of identity. And again, this was something that I was talking about with the chiropractor that I'm coaching. And I said to her, I said, like, what does your ideal day in practice look like? If you went to work, what is your ideal day going to look like? And she couldn't answer me. I said, go away and think about it. And she really struggled with it. And the thing is if you don't have that vision, you don't have that, how can you create the energy? How can you create the motivation if you don't know what it is you're working towards? But like I said, for me, guided visualization, meditation, creating my reality before it's there. And I know this, and look, a lot of people are going to look at me and they're going to go, woo-woo, man. Well, look, if you look at all the most successful people on the planet, like I said, they all personal develop, they all do like mental well-being. Most of them will do a gratitude list. And the reason being is that if you set your mentality up to be successful, guess what? You'll naturally just fall that way, because people will just look at you and they just think, they see what you think or what you feel. And the thing is if that is 100% true and 100% your reality, people will see your level of certainty and they will align with that. And if the people are attracted to that, they'll stay with you. If they're not, they won't.
Yeah. It just goes back to the sort of actions speak louder than words. I mean, put it this way. We are now doing this sort of podcast. We're saying these sort of things. If I said that I wanted to sort of like be a successful sort of like coach in terms of physical fitness, I didn't go out there, put myself out there, do things like this, then who's gonna give me the credit? Even despite the fact I've got a physique, we need to create our own reality by backing up what we're doing with action, but that action needs to be directed, and it comes back to what you said. We need to find ourselves first, and as much as this sounds airy-fairy, I can testify to that. I was an accountant before, working that for about 10 years, but it's only until my last contract ended, because I worked as a contractor, self-independent contractor, that I went, I really don't want to go back to this. And that was a scary time for me, because then I need to go, okay, well, if I don't want to do this, what the hell am I going to do? That is scary, but then it forces you to actually think, like what you said to your the person you were helping. You might need to go into some dark places. That will be uncomfortable for you, but believe me, when you find out what you truly want to achieve, that right there is the thing that's going to give you constant motivation to do the things that you never thought you could do. aka me even doing this podcast. This is something that I would never thought that I would ever set up to do, but I'm doing it because my main aim is to help people, and to help people I need to do things that I never would have thought I would do.
Yep.
Because I need to reach people, and that's the whole point. Find out what you want, find out who you are, what makes you tick, what drives you, what do you enjoy. Then you can get all the support that can help make that happen for you. But you've got to make things happen. You've got to take that action and not be afraid to fail, as Patrick has sort of said. I mean, and what you've said about money being a value trap, that's, if you do things that you're drawn to and that motivate you, inspire you, you want to achieve, things like this will be a byproduct. Because at the end of the day, what I say about life, it's about finding your own meaning and value of life. What do you enjoy? Go after it. Everything else, your own happiness, money, all these things will be a byproduct of that, because you enjoy life. You'll be living life for the right reasons, not for the next paycheck that comes in, not because of a big house. You'll be doing it because you enjoy what you want to do, and you won't probably even sleep in as much, because you'll be going, right, I've got my things that I want to do today. I need to get up, I need to get this done, because it's not everything I need to get this, I need to get done, I want to get this done. That's what gives the spark. I mean, is that something that you agree with?
Yeah, I agree. And actually, do you know what, now, the more I get, the more I give back now.
Yes, exactly.
The more I get, the more I give back. And the thing is that for me, I've probably got everything that I already. When I was a teenager, I was kind of always taught you go to school, you go to college, you go to university, you get a good job, you earn your money, you pay your bills, you pay your mortgage, And I always had this idea that I was just going to go to work. I was going to get into a really good job. I could do this. I could be a lawyer, and I could earn 100K. That was great. And now that I actually, funny enough, I achieved it in my 20s. Like, what I thought in my teens was success, I achieved it a hell of a lot earlier than I ever anticipated. So, to be honest, to me now, like, I've kind of exceeded where I wanted to go. So I find ways of creating extra value in my life. And one of the ways that I personally do that is I love giving back. And I don't have to do any of these things, by the way, but I do because I love helping, and I love giving back to my tribe, which are my patients. So I've got I look at different tribes in my life, but I mean, I don't have to do this, but I do it anyway. I send 200 printed newsletters to my patients every month. Obviously we spend time like this doing stuff like this, and we give this away for free. I spend money on having to send mass emails to my patients to educate and give value back to them again. We have just spent, it's going to be nearly £20,000 on giving patients free care for what they missed during the coronavirus. We're going to be discounting our new patient entries because what we know about at the moment is that the number of injuries because of makeshift desks at home has gone through the roof. So what are we going to do? We're going to create value. We're going to create value. We're going to build our tribe. And for me, it's not about the cash. It's about the help and creating the tribe. And I get the energy off that. And that for me that's what I need for my work.
Yeah. And that, I think really, it just really shows that we can't just be fixated on that type of one end result, be it that we want a better physique, be it that we want a car, be it that we want to earn a certain amount of money, because these are just material things that even if you have it, they're not going to satisfy you, because there's no real actual value apart from, as you've talked about before, the sort of the intrinsic, like if you have the marshmallow.
Sorry, I'm due to start in practice at about 20 past 11, and my patients are just starting to arrive. We're a little bit early.
But just like, is it having that marshmallow? You get that little hit of, oh, I've had the marshmallow, but then that satisfaction disappears. That's what getting the physique or getting the shiny car or getting a certain amount of money is. It's not enough, so you need to get value in other things, and it's about the journey, what you learn, the journey, who you liaise with, what you can give back, what you can achieve in other things. That's what pushes you forward to want to do more. So we've got to, but to do that, we need to understand what drives us, what do we care about, what do we actually want to achieve, and understand that is what we can do. But more likely than not, it means we need to get out of our comfort zones, and we're going to need to get the right support so that we can actually get from point A to point B. So, yeah, we're coming to the sort of last sort of 7 minutes of this, but is there any sort of like final words that you want to sort of like leave people with in terms of, be it maybe the sort of actual steps that they can use to sort of like change their mindset so they can achieve the things that they truly want to achieve during this lockdown or even after this lockdown, or just sort of anything that you want to leave? Personally,
if people want, there's a lot of content out there, but like I say, you've got to find someone that you connect with. And look, you may find that on this call that you've connected one of us to. Look, I'm happy to have people in my tribe. Personally, for me, it's not necessarily about helping the people that are on my tables in my clinic, but I provide free services like you're doing now. So, if you want actionable steps, I produce podcasts. I love producing podcasts for people, and I think there's so much information. Find someone that you connect with and follow them. There's a really nice guy. His name's Gary V. He's really
I think a lot of people know him.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, is he was always told that he wouldn't succeed because he swears a lot.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right, is you don't give up what other people think about you. Give up about the people that you care about. Yeah.
Bro, yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
I'm not going to potty. Not like Gary V.
Yeah, definitely. So, Amy, you said you've got a question. If you can quickly write that down, then we can quickly answer it, because we've just got the last 5 minutes before this ends.
Yeah, but, I'm not in a huge rush. Like I say, I'm not actually starting until 5:30. So I've just got patients that are super keen to be here.
Yeah, it's just that this live stream only lasts for an hour, so it'll cut off for an hour. So yeah. But yeah, while Amy's maybe sort of like writing that down, I just want to sort of thank you for your time here. I mean, we did have as you said earlier on, we did have a sort of like Zoom call with my cousin where we sort of initially got introduced, and I knew that you'd be from that. I knew you'd probably be like a really good guest for what I'm trying to do on my sort of live chats here, and it's really proven to be that. So there's a lot more that we really could get into with this, but it just shows how quickly an hour can go when you've got people 100%. That really have value to sort of share. So I'll definitely look to get you on another live in the future. We can sort of look into sort of what, other topics in terms of mindset specific as well, because you've talked about like how health is important. Mental health, physical health, they're all connected, but it comes from having the right mindset. And I hope that the type of things we've talked about here opens people's eyes and minds up to things that they need to be thinking about if they want to achieve success, whatever they're doing, in terms of it being their physical health or mental health or ambitions. So, I just want to sort of thank you for that. And people that are sort of watching this, I would urge you to follow Patrick Hogg on Instagram. He's at complete health _18.
Yeah, that's our clinic. We're the same on Facebook. We're the same on Facebook as well. We're also, if you do like listening to things as opposed to watching videos, we are Coffee with the Chiropractor on Spotify and iTunes as well. So there's about 6 episodes on there now. I think there's 4 with other chiropractors, and then there's like 3 or 4 that I've done on my own. I think there's about 6 or 7. But we're going to be uploading maybe 2 a week, every week, 1 with a guest and 1 on my own. So again, if you just want to learn, and not necessarily I'm not necessarily a physique coach, but I'm more about trying to actually help people heal their bodies and actually improve on their health, their mentality. And the thing is it crosses over. It crosses over. They're not that far apart from each other. What you're trying to teach here to your tribe is not that different to what I'm trying to teach to my tribe. We're just coming at it from a different level of alignment.
Exactly. But but brilliant stuff there. And I'll have this. This will go straight onto my IGTV channel. So if anyone has sort of come in later to this and wants to see the full sort of like what I would like to call an inspirational live that I've had with Patrick, then jump over to my IGTV. It'll be there, and I'll have the full edited sort of version in terms of all the nice graphics. That'll be on my YouTube channel in the upcoming days. So with that, people, that is the end of episode 13 of Quarantine, Fitness and Life. This time with my very inspirational guest, Patrick Hogg, who is at complete health _18 on Instagram and I think Facebook. So we'll see you guys on the next one. But thanks for that, Patrick. Chat soon, okay?
Thank you so much for having me. And guys, thank you so much for listening.
No problem. Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.